Hello, I'm Timothy Q from Rosyth School, and today I'm going to share with you my introduction. So, I chose this project because I enjoy eating bread, especially homemade ones. However, I have had to throw away many pieces of homemade bread due to mold growth. I wanted to find a way to make homemade bread last as long as possible. So, during my internet research, I found out that natural preservatives could be added to the bread dough prior to baking to slow down mold growth. The natural preservatives that were most frequently used by home bakers were cinnamon, soy lecithin, and honey. However, no studies have investigated which was the most effective natural preservative. Hence, I decided to conduct my experiment to find out. I hope my findings will enable my parents to bake bread that will last a longer time without spoiling. I also hope that informing others about natural ways to preserve homemade bread will encourage them to try baking their own bread instead of eating store-bought ones with their added artificial preservatives. The ingredients needed are 15 grams of cinnamon for batch 1, the cinnamon baked bread, 15 grams of honey for the honey baked bread, and 15 grams of lecithin for the lecithin baked bread, 3 plastic bags, and a bread maker machine. 4 batches of 225 grams of plain white flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 15 grams of margarine, 6 grams of dried yeast, 150 milliliters of warm water, which are the ingredients for bread. My experiment protocol is as follows. Step 1. Add 1 batch of the ingredients for the bread into the bread maker along with the respective preservatives for each batch and turn it on. Step 2. Repeat step 1 4 times. Step 3. Leave a batch of bread clear of any preservatives as a control. In total, 4 batches of bread will be baked. Step 4. Taste each of the breads so that it fulfills the conditions given, namely taste, smell, and color, and eliminate the ones which do not. Step 5. Cut a piece of bread for each batch and place them into plastic bags, one for each separate piece. Step 6. Take pictures of the bread daily and record down the number of days each piece takes to grow mold. Compare the results and state the substance in the bread which takes the longest time to grow mold that appears on the surface as the most effective natural substance to preserve bread. After much consideration, I decided to use the bread maker machine instead of an oven because the texture and quality of the bread that came out of it was better and there was less chance of the batches of bread being charred. My findings are as follows. The bread baked with soy lecithin lasted the longest, lasting for 5 days, while the breads baked with honey and cinnamon lasted each 3 days respectively. The bread with no added preservatives that acted as a control for the experiment lasted 2 days without mold appearing on the surface. From the experiment, I can conclude that the soy lecithin was the best preservative. Also, we can conclude that all the preservatives influence the bread, with the breads baked with cinnamon and honey lasting for 1 day longer than the bread without preservatives, and the bread baked with lecithin lasting 4 days longer than the bread without preservatives. It was a pity that I could not use a more accurate scale for the experiment based on hours, not days, as the time span was long. I could have also compared the artificial bread from common brands to the bread baked with natural preservatives, but I did not think of that during the experiment. Thank you for your kind attention.